Welcome, thrill seekers. Is this music too loud? Let me know in the chat. I could turn it all the way off. I don't know. You tell me. Roll call. We could do that. Welcome to the stream. FKA Mommy, Detroit, Tiff, A. Smith, Stacy Ann, G. Rob, Sydney Shaw, JT, Pulper 80, Mr. Blue Sky Worldwide, G. Rob, I think I said your name. Ga, hello, welcome. American Cupcake, how is everyone? Well, today we're embarking on a dark journey into Action Park. The infamous amusement park where safety was optional and survival wasn't guaranteed. A place that took thrills to a whole new level, if by thrills we mean near-death experiences. So let's dig in to this graveyard of fun.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place.
And we're back. So, have any of you heard of this place? I've never heard of Action Park until recently, or I didn't know I had. Johnny Knoxville did a movie on it. Yeah, but this is the map. I don't even know the name of the Knoxville movie. That wasn't part of the show prep, so fuck me. I'm an ear of corn. All right. So, this is the map of this Action Park right here. They want you to drink Pepsi. So it looks like there's a ski resort at the top. Some rental offices, a spa, but over here, a shitload of rides. Motor World, a couple of Grand Prix tracks, a few of them. Hell, there's one down here. This thing looks like it's just 4 tanks, so that's safe. Remote control cars. I don't think I've ever seen that at a amusement park. Okay, but anyway, this is this is the place. This is the place where the rules were a little bit lax, apparently. So, let's see. The first thing I want to talk about is, let's dive into the history of Action Park. So, in the town of Vernon, New Jersey, this is all stuff I've just recently learned, so you may already know this. A lot of you probably already do. But here we go. So, in the town of Vernon, New Jersey, an entrepreneur named Eugene Mulville bought a ski resort in '76. He wanted to create a summer attraction to keep business humming year-round. That's how the Action Park was born in '78. So the idea wasn't all bad, though. Mulville's plan was to create a park where people could control their experiences. Instead of just strapping into a roller coaster and being taken for a ride, the guests in that park were supposed to be able to have more control in the driver's seat, controlling how fast or slow they went down the Alpine Slide, for example. But the philosophy of letting the guests take control created an environment that was a bit like the Wild West. Regulations were lax, and this allowed Action Park to create rides that were truly unprecedented, and as we would later find out, downright dangerous. Despite the many problems, Action Park was hugely popular throughout the 80s. It attracted scores of visitors, eager for the thrill and the promise of control. But this control came with a steep price. So the first segment, I guess I'm doing segments now, we're going to get to is the rides. And first one we're going to look at is Cannonball. The Cannonball Loop. You did a 360. It's just a big ass tube with a loop at the end, and it shoots you out onto a tarp. I mean, that's, I don't know, that seems like a tight loop at the bottom, but anyway, possibly the most visually outrageous and dangerous ride at the Action Park was the Cannonball Loop. This ride's structure was a fully enclosed water slide with a complete vertical loop at the end, and it loomed over the park, promising thrill seekers the ride of their lives, or at least the most memorable one. From a distance, it seemed to defy physics, and up close, it defied sanity. Most water slides content themselves with twists and turns, but the Cannonball Loop aimed to be an Olympic gymnast, bending water and human bodies to its iron will. The ride was a brainchild of the park owner, Gene Mulville, and according to rumors, it was designed with the same level of planning and precision you'd use to sketch out a doodle on a napkin. To test the ride, dummies were reportedly sent down before humans, but these were not the kind of dummies that came out intact. The park didn't let that deter them, though. Early riders of the Cannonball Loop recounted tales of being turned upside down and hurtled headfirst into a pool of water at high speed, while others reported getting stuck at the top of the loop. Park employees were tasked with pushing the unfortunate riders through with a long pole. Reports of bloody noses and back injuries were common. But true to Action Park's spirit, the possibility of injury just seemed to make the ride more appealing, and some daring visitors just couldn't turn that away. Let's see, there's another graphic. There it is. Look at that. And that's where they would shoot you out at. It doesn't really look like it's a big enough tube, even. It looks a little tight, but legend says that the Cannonball Loop was only operational for about a month before it was shut down by the Advisory Board on Amusement Park Safety. Yet its imposing structure remained at the park for years afterwards, serving as a lasting monument to Action Park's reckless audacity. Well, how about that? Traction Park. Fatties get stuck. These comments are rolling. All right, thanks everyone. Who have we got here? Brian, Gina Bobina, Cut of the Jib, John Doe, the John Doe, Core of Discovery, Y2K, welcome. Yes, that graphic showed us how babies are made. How they come out. It's a miracle. All right, so the next ride we have is the Alpine Slide. And so you can see on the screen here, see this little image I'm dragging around on the map? since this cursor wants to be kind of an asshole, just follow the floating image here. So vertical. This is the Alpine Slide. This, and it's also labeled over here as the Alpine Slide. So I guess it just wrapped around the damn place. Either that or there were two sections. But that is the Alpine Slide. And here's what I know about it. The Alpine Slide, a name that brings a shiver down the spine of anyone who had the pleasure of riding it. This was an attraction that perfectly embodied the adrenaline-inducing safety-second philosophy of Action Park. To set the scene, imagine a concrete track snaking down a steep hill, embedded into the natural landscape. Each rider would receive a small sled with a rudimentary control stick that was supposed to adjust the speed. In theory, pushing it forward would cause the sled to go faster, and pulling it back would cause the sled to slow down. In reality, though, the stick either shot you forward like a bat out of hell, or it would barely work at all. Riders would rocket down the track, experiencing G-forces akin to a budget space program. If you managed to stay in the concrete track, that was a big if, you'd be tossed from side to side, dodging the sharp edges and uneven surfaces. Losing control and even flying off the track was a common occurrence, leaving riders at the mercy of the gravel and rocks waiting to introduce themselves to your skin. But it was the lack of safety regulations that truly set the Alpine Slide apart. Do you see the picture? Do you see helmets? No. No helmets. Do you see age restrictions? No. That's I don't know. How old is that one up front? Like 2 or something? I don't have kids, so way too young for this ride. Helmets optional. Age limits, not really. Proper instruction, forget about it. Many of the park's injuries, from minor abrasions to more severe head injuries, were courtesy of the Alpine Slide. One employee even cut that part out. One employee even notoriously recalled that they had a special code, 119, which they would call out whenever they found particularly bloody abrasions left on the track. So not only was the Alpine Slide a thrill-seeker's dream, it also functioned as a blood donor program, albeit an unintentional one. Okay, all right, that's the Alpine Slide. Okay, those are young kids. Yeah, that's like, I know when I was at that age, I would have flown down that thing. And probably gone off that cliff, just like right off there. But the next ride is I don't know, for me, a particularly terrifying one, I guess. I'm not a fan of the idea of drowning. So the tidal wave pool, or as some survivors fondly called it, the grave pool. This devilishly deceptive attraction at Action Park was notorious for the chaos and danger it brewed. The wave pool spanned an area of 100 by 250 feet and could hold up to 1,000 people, many of whom were overconfident swimmers, as it seems most visitors to Action Park were. Now, you might think it's just a pool with waves. How bad could it be? Well, let me tell you, it was not your average suburban backyard pool. It was designed to generate waves reaching heights of up to 40 inches with a cycle of 20 minutes of waves followed by 10 minutes of calm. Simple enough, right? Wrong. The deepest end of the pool was a staggering 8 feet deep, and the waves were powerful enough to knock people off their feet and send them crashing into each other. This caused panic and exhaustion, especially among those who couldn't swim well. The pool was so perilous, it needed to be maintained by a dozen lifeguards who were kept busy pulling people to safety, sometimes up to 30 rescues a day during the peak season. But the real horror story lies in the numbers. The tidal wave pool was responsible for 3 of the 6 confirmed deaths at Action Park. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most fun things can hold hidden dangers. The grave pool was undoubtedly a place of thrill and excitement, but it was also a place of fear and tragedy, perfectly encapsulating the paradox that was Action Park. Ooh. Action Park. Action Park. Action Park. Action Park. Holy shit, there's 19 people here. Hello, how are we? Got Mr. Blue Sky, Gina, same crew, Pulper 80. All right, we'll just keep on rolling. I see Dirty Dalish. Hello, welcome. The next, I think this is the last ride. Yeah, the last ride that I'm going to cover. Couldn't find a picture of. So, I mean, I looked and looked and looked. And I can't find a picture of this damn thing. But it was called the Kayak Experience. It was a seemingly innocuous ride in Action Park that turned into a scene of tragic horror. The ride was one of the few non-swimming, non-sliding attractions in the water park, but it was far from safe. Designed to mimic the experience of kayaking down a winding river with fast-moving rapids, the ride used submerged electric fans to agitate the water, creating artificial rapids. Riders would take their kayaks and navigate through the churning waters, adding an element of adventure to the park's offerings. However, the deadly combination of water and electricity resulted in a horrifying incident. In 1982, a park goer was unfortunately electrocuted when his kayak capsized. As he tried to right his kayak, he came into contact with the underwater wiring that was powering the fans, leading to his fatal electrocution. Despite the clear dangers of combining electricity and water, especially in a ride designed to intentionally capsize participants, Action Park continued to operate the ride until this disastrous incident. The incident highlighted the lack of foresight and disregard for safety protocols that were characteristic of the park's management. It's worth nothing that this tragedy was just one in a series of incidents that led to Action Park being labeled as one of the most dangerous amusement parks in history. The Kayak Experience is a sobering testament to the risks taken in the name of amusement and thrill, making a dark chapter in the history of Action Park. So, yeah, he fucking stepped on a wire that was powering a fan and electrocuted himself. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a great picture, by the way. Whoever made that, they did well. But yeah, so zooming in, you can see the Alpine Slide, both sections, I guess. The tiny little Cannonball. And over here on the right, bottom right corner, tidal wave pool. No idea where this kayak thing was. I've searched this map for about 30 minutes, and I can't find this damn thing. So, if anyone knows, that'd be cool to know. Has anyone in here actually been to that park? I haven't. Type 1, I don't know, is this a thing? Type 1 in the chat if you've ever been to this park. I obviously have not. It's nowhere near my field. But I don't think I meet the height requirements, as I am an ear of corn. Dave. We got a 1 from Dave. The bird. All right. Wow. 1 times 5. Brian went. G-Rob went 69 times. Go G-Rob. Cheers. All right. So next is the dark side of Action Park. Yeah. So we've reached the point in our journey through Action Park history where we have to face the darker side of this amusement park saga. This is where it gets grim. Yeah. Actually, it's pretty much stuff we just covered, but it's kind of a nice summary, so stick around if you want. I'm an ear of corn. What do you want? All right, folks. Despite the amusement park's innovative attractions and roaring popularity, Action Park was not all fun and games. It quickly became infamous for its alarming number of injuries and tragic fatalities. The New Jersey Herald reported in 1986 that Action Park's casualty count included over 110 injuries, including 45 head injuries and 10 fractures. It wasn't just the number of injuries that were concerning, it was the severity. There were instances of guests having to be pried out of the water tubes or taken away in ambulances due to serious or often life threatening injuries. To put it plainly, the place was a breeding ground for disaster, mainly due to a severe lack of proper safety measures and regulations. Rides like the Cannonball Loop, which was as dangerous as it was absurd, were open to the public without any professional engineering assessments. Alpine Slide was responsible for the majority of the park's injuries. In fact, one of the 6 deaths that occurred at the action park was on this ride. It consists of a concrete and fiberglass track. So I'm going to go back to that picture. They're riding on fiberglass slides that have been fastened to the ground. And then, as best I can tell, the corners where they have to bank and make a turn, those are concrete, but still they look like sections. The concrete might just be the parts that are anchoring it into the ground. I don't know. I see the layers here, and I see where they overlap. So I don't know. Fiberglass, fucking fiberglass. I don't see that holding up too well over time. Riders would go down the track in a sled, controlling their speed with the brake, but the brake was often faulty, causing riders to lose control. So, no bueno. Speaking of fatalities, let's take a sobering pause to acknowledge that between 78 and 87, 6 people lost their lives at Action Park. This included drownings in the tidal wave pool, which was ominously named the Grave Pool due to its dangerously high wave setting and inadequate lifeguard coverage. The park's safety record, or lack thereof, eventually led to its downfall after several high-profile lawsuits, including one with a family that sued for $8 million after a tragic fatality. It became clear that Action Park was a dangerous liability. Oh, they figured it out. Okay. Shockingly, Action Park managed to operate in this disastrous state for nearly 2 decades, from 78 to 96, before eventually closing its doors. One cannot help but question how such an amusement park was allowed to operate in this hazardous state for such a long time, making a grim chapter in the history of amusement parks. In our next segment, we'll discuss the aftermath of Action Park, its short-lived revival, and how its unsettling legacy has shaped modern safety regulations in amusement and water parks. Stay tuned. And we're back. Okay. Not much change. You stuck with me? Thanks. All right. So let's talk about the aftermath. Action Park officially closed its doors for the first time in 96. It was after a slew of lawsuits, safety violations, and a damaging reputation that ultimately led to financial troubles. However, it wasn't the end of Action Park just yet. In 1998, it reopened under new management as Mountain Creek Water Park with a commitment to safety and fun. Despite the efforts to turn things around, Mountain Creek Water Park couldn't escape the shadow of Action Park. It reverted to the original Action Park brand in 2014 in a move widely regarded as an attempt to cash in on the notorious nostalgia. Yet it lasted only 2 years before the name Mountain Creek Water Park was reinstated in 2016, signaling the true end of Action Park. The Action Park saga isn't merely a thrilling tale. It's a stark lesson in safety and regulation, with repercussions echoing far beyond its confines. A conservative estimate is that Take two. A conservative estimate is that Action Park was involved in at least 110 injuries, including 45 head injuries and 10. I said that already. The fuck am I repeating that for? Between 84 and 85 alone. 6 fatalities were linked. We knew that. Shut up, Corn. God. These grim statistics spurred a necessary change in the amusement park industry. In the years following Action Park's closure, stricter safety regulations and enforcement took center stage across the nation's amusement and water parks. The Consumer Product Safety Commission became more vigilant, and states began to enforce stricter inspection regulations and incident reporting requirements. Oh, that's great. Okay. Moreover, Action Park left an indelible. The fuck is that? Moreover, Action Park left an indelible imprint on pop culture. It has been the subject of multiple documentaries and TV specials, each highlighting the park's dangerous allure. These narratives, there's that fucking word. These narratives keep the legacy of Action Park alive, serving as a chilling reminder of the very real human cost of negligence in the pursuit of thrill. Yes. So while Action Park may be relegated to the past, its legacy, both as a symbol of its unchecked thrill-seeking and as a catalyst for change in the industry, lives on. Yes, it does. It will. I wish I could have experienced it. Let's remember Action Park as a testament to the balance we must strike between pursuing exhilarating experiences and maintaining paramount safety. Oh, safety first, kids. As we wind down this roller coaster ride of an episode, it's time for us to turn the spotlight onto you now. Our valued listeners, did any of you visit Action Park during its operation? Do you have any stories? Any thoughts? Is there something I fucked up on? Did I miss something? I know I did. Did you miss me missing something? Probably. Either way, this is the end. Yes. So, as we close the episode, we reflect on Action Park as a symbol of thrill-seeking pushed to its limit, and a reminder of the importance of safety in amusement. Join us next time as we delve into another engrossing topic. Stay safe, and we'll see you then. Hold on. You need to see my face. That's the thing everybody's here for. Hold on. Let's do this one more time. And okay, here we go. All right, and join us next time as we delve into another engrossing topic. Stay safe, and see you then.